Welcome to Weaving Wyrd Studio. My name is Sig. Shall we get started? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this very nice rose motif. I'm actually making 4 of these for myself because I have an art project planned for them. Another art piece that I happen to be working on that I will share with you when I get closer to completion or even while I'm working on it. But for now, it's just really all in my head, and while I'm in the process of getting my motifs together, I figured I'd also make videos of them so that you can make the motifs as well if you are interested. Also, I thought I'd throw this one in there as well. This motif, this rose motif, is actually made from the same exact pattern as this motif, except there are a couple of subtle differences. So as we get through the video, or towards later in the video, I will tell you how to actually get this look, if this is a look that you are interested in. For now, we're going to get started with this motif. So to begin with, I'm going to need 4 different colors. 2 colors that I'm going to use for my petals, my flowers, and 2 different color greens that I'm going to use for my leaves. I am also going to use a size number 2 or a 1.50 steel hook. For more information on the thread and color that I used, please look to the description section below. Now let's get started. I'm going to begin this by doing a chain stitch of 5. And then I'm going to join into that first chain. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm then going to chain 3, and then again make a single crochet. Chain 3, and then a single crochet. I'm going to do this until I have 5 of these on my chain. Okay, so now I have the beginnings of my first 5 petals. You can see my 5 3-chain segments. And I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. And then in my first chain 3 space, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a single crochet, then a half double crochet, then a double crochet 3 times, then a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next chain 3 space. And then I'm going to half double crochet, and then a double crochet 3 times. Then a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And I'm going to follow that pattern for the next 3 chain 3 spaces. And now that I've completed this pattern on this 5th chain 3 space, my 5th petal, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to slip stitch in that next single crochet. And I'm going to make a chain. And then I'm going to single crochet in each of the following stitches all the way around. Okay, so once I have finished my single crochet all the way around, I'm going to slip stitch in that next stitch, and then I'm going to turn my work. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pick up a couple of legs in the back like that, and I'm going to make another slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 5. And then I'm going to come here to where these next 2 petals meet, so right in here. And again, I'm going to pick up these 2 back legs, I'm going to slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 5. And I'm going to do the same where the next, where the 2 petals meet. And then again, where the next 2 petals meet again. And we have 2 more times to do that. Okay, and so this is where we're going to end off our first color. I'm going to leave a bit of a tail because I'm going to use this to sew in the bead I have chosen for the center part of this rose motif. And for me, now is a good time to get that part of it done. Now that we have the ends woven in, I'm going to get my second color, which is this natural and gold thread. And this is your right side, but we're going to start the next petals. And so in order to do that, we're going to work from these chains that we just put in the back. So I'm going to begin. My first slip stitching that next color into place. And then I'm going to single crochet. And then I'm going to do a half double crochet. I'm going to do a double crochet. And then I'm going to do 3 treble crochets. Then I'm going to chain 5. And I'm going to single crochet down in that chain 5 space. And then I'm going to chain 5 again. And then I'm going to do 3 treble crochets. A double crochet, a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. So your back petal should look something like this for now. And we're going to follow that same pattern for the next 4 5 chain spaces. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm then going to slip stitch into that next 5 chain space and chain 1. Then I'm going to single crochet, half double crochet, and then double crochet. And I'm going to do 3 treble crochets. Then I'm going to chain 5. I'm going to do a single crochet in that chain 5 space. I'm going to chain 5 again. And then I'm going to do treble crochet 3 times. A double crochet, and then now a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. And I'll meet you right back here for the next thing to do after we finish the next 3 petals. Okay, so now that we've finished each petal, you're going to have something that looks like this so far. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to come down here and we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And then when we get to the space between the 2 chain 5 spaces, we're going to slip stitch. And then we're going to single crochet all the way around. And then we're going to slip stitch. Single crochet all the way around the petal, and then we're going to slip stitch. And we're going to do that until we've completed all 5 petals. Okay, so right there is where we're going to make our slip stitch. And then after making that slip stitch, then we're going to continue to single crochet. And then like you saw right here, you'll single crochet, of course, in this stitch, and then a single crochet in this stitch, effectively bringing these two pieces of this one petal together. I'm going to continue that same process all the way around, and then I'll let you know what to do next once we've finished the last of the petals on this row. Okay, so now your rose should look something like this. We've got our last slip stitch in for this row. And now we're going to turn the work a little bit. And I know this gets a little fiddly. And as before, we're going to pick up a couple of the legs from the previous rows, right about there. And I'm going to slip stitch in that spot. And then I'm going to chain 7. And then I'm going to go where the petals meet again. And I'm going to pick up a couple of the legs in the back. And I'm going to chain 7 more. I'm going to continue that all the way around until I have 7 chain spaces. Okay, so now that you've got your next step done, so you're going to want 7 chains and a slip stitch, 7 chains and a slip stitch, 7 chains and a slip stitch. And this is going to be the base for your next set of petals. And then of course this is where you're going to finish off your previous color, and you're going to go back to the very first color that you were using. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch my new color in. And then all these little tails that you see kind of flapping around, I am going to work those in as I crochet along. Now you might decide that it's easier for you to just go ahead and weave them in when you're finished with your piece, but I personally prefer to weave in my ends as I work. So we're going to begin with a single crochet, and then a half double crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a treble crochet. So now I'm going to need 3 double treble crochets. At least in the US definition of that, it's going to be 3 yarn overs. And then we're going to work it as we would a double or a treble crochet. And so I've just created one, and that's what that looks like. And I'm going to do 2 more. Okay. So now that I have my 3 double treble crochets, I'm going to now chain 6. And I'm going to do a single crochet in that chain 7 space. And then I'm going to chain 6 more. And then I'm going to do 3 double treble crochets again. And then I'm going to do a treble crochet. And then a double crochet. Then a half double crochet and a single crochet. Then I'm going to slip stitch into that next 7 chain space. I'm going to make a chain. And then I'm going to do my single crochet. I'm going to begin again. Just as I did with this petal right here, I'm going to continue with the next following petals. I'm going to start off with the single crochet, and then the half double crochet, and then the double crochet, and then the treble crochet, and then the 3 double treble crochets. Then you're going to chain 6, and you are going to then single crochet in that chain 7 space, and you're going to chain 6 again, and then you're going to do 3 double treble crochets, and then of course the treble crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and then you're going to jump into your next 7 chain space with a slip stitch and a chain, and you're going to begin again. I'll meet you back here when we've completed the next 4 petals. Okay, so now that we've made a complete round, this is what we should look like. This is what it should look like so far. This is how your back should look. Okay, and so as before, as with the petal before it, we are going to go ahead and make that slip stitch into that first single crochet. And then for this flower, this motif, I'm going to go ahead and make a chain. And then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And as in the petal before it, you're going to want to single crochet these 2 parts of this petal together. And you're going to continue that around. And then when you've completed single crocheting your petal, and you bring it right back down to that space between the 2 petals, you're then going to want to slip stitch in that space, just like before. Slip stitching, do my chain, and I'm going to continue to single crochet. And all my petals will look like this. And we're going to want to do that for each petal all the way around. But before I leave you to do that, I wanted to let you know how to get this effect, right? So you're basically doing the same thing. You're making the flower in the same exact way. The difference here is, well, this one doesn't have the leaves, right? So it's not even necessary to wait until we get to that point to show you how to do this. But really what it is it's the same flower. The difference is in the middle, I've put a cluster of seed beads to give it some additional interest as far as the center of the flower goes. And then instead of single crocheting each stitch around the petal, what I will do is I will single crochet, and then I will chain 3, and then single crochet in the next stitch, and then I will chain 3. So I'll show you how to do that here really fast, or how I do that here. So basically for this blue and white flower, I would make my chain or my single crochet, and then I would chain 3, and then I would make another single crochet in the next stitch. and then I would chain 3 and then single crochet in the same stitch. And then, so you can see how that starts to give you kind of that lacy edge that you see on the blue and white, on this blue and white flower. Now, when you get to this part where the petal splits, you're basically going to make your single crochet in this space, chain 3, and then make your next single crochet in the next space. And then chain 3, and then single crochet in this stitch, chain 3, single crochet in the next stitch, so on and so forth. And then, of course, when you get to the center, just like before, you're going to do your slip stitch before you start your next petal. And that's really all there is to it in making this look, this more frilly, lacy sort of look. Okay, so I will see you back here in just a moment once I'm ready to tell you how to do the next step when we are finished with the next petals. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch. And you should have something that looks like this. Now, as before, I'm going to turn our work. And I'm going to find my spot in the back where I can slip stitch an anchor point for my next chain. Okay, so I'm going to slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 7, or sorry, excuse me, I'm going to chain 9. And as before, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the legs from my previous single crochets that sit just between the 2 petals. There's something that resembles that. I mean, if you're not perfectly on those particular stitches, I don't find that it matters much, as long as your work looks clean and you're in the right area. So don't beat yourself up too much. This takes a little more focus than your average crocheted piece, and so just try to relax and have some fun with it. So I'm going to do that same thing for all the remaining petals. I'm going to chain 9, and then I'm going to anchor it between the anchor point of the next 2 petals. I'm going to continue that all the way around, and then I'm going to finish off this color and get my next color ready to go. Okay, so I've completed my 9 chains behind each petal, and I've finished it off, and now I'm going to begin with my next color, just as before. And this will be my last row of petals, just in case you were wondering. So again, I slip stitched it on, and now I'm going to make a single crochet, and then a half double crochet, and then a double crochet, a treble crochet, a double treble crochet, now the next stitch I'm going to call it a double treble crochet plus 1. Now, I don't know if it has an official name, but this is just what I'm calling it. It's basically the same thing as a double crochet, a treble crochet, a double treble crochet, except we're going to do an additional yarn over. So with a double treble crochet, you're going to accomplish that by having 3 yarn overs, but with this double treble crochet plus 1, you're going to have 4 yarn overs, like this, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to work it like I would any of those previous stitches I just mentioned, except I'm going to go through the motion of each of the 4 yarn overs plus the loop that's already on the hook. Okay, so again, 3 and 4, so that gives me 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to pull up a loop, and I'm going to pull through a loop once, pull through a loop twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then 5 times. What I call a double treble crochet plus 1. Now you're going to want to do these 9 times, right? So I've already got 2 on my 9 chain space. I'm going to want 7 more. Okay, so I now have 9 double treble plus 1 crochets on my 9 chain space. Now, for those of you out there who might be smarter than me, and I'm sure there's a lot of you, if this stitch actually has an official name, let me know. Drop it in the comment box below. So now that I've done that, what I need to do is just do a double treble crochet. And then a treble crochet. And then a double crochet. A half double crochet. And then a regular crochet. And then as before, a slip stitch in the next chain 9 space. Chain 1, and then begin it all over again. So before I leave you to finish these next petals, we'll just do a quick recap. So you're basically going to have that single crochet, the half double crochet, then the double crochet, then the treble crochet, then the double treble crochet. And then you're going to have 9 double treble plus 1 crochets. And then when you get back to the other side, you're going to have 1 double treble crochet, and then a treble crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a half double crochet, and then of course your single crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch in the next chain 9 space with a 1 chain before you start that pattern all over again. So I'll leave you to it, and I will see you back here in just a moment. Okay, so we've made our way around, and you should look like this. Your piece should look something similar to this. Now, I've already done my slip stitch down there in between these 2 petals. And what I'm going to do, as I did before, I am going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and then I'm going to slip stitch here between the 2 petals, and then of course single crochet all the way around until I get to the next split between the 2 petals right in here, and then I'll slip stitch, and I will continue all the way around like that, not only once but twice. So I will do 2 rows of this single crochet with the slip stitch in between the 2 petals. So we'll go ahead and have you do that, and then I will be right back with you once again. Now that you've finished crocheting 2 rows of single crochets along the edge of your final set of petals, we can now get started on the leaves. So what we're going to need to do for that is get our darkest green first, or at least how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use my darkest green first. And I'm going to turn my piece over on the back. And we're going to get this started. So now what I'm going to do here is I am going to find approximately the center of this petal. And I'm going to, and here at the base, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to lift up a couple of those legs and insert my hook. And then I'm going to begin making my chain. I want 10 on this chain. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to find the approximate center of the next petal. And I'm going to pick up a couple of the legs there at the base of those stitches. And I am going to slip stitch an anchor there so that it looks like that. And then I'm going to chain 10 chains. And I'm going to do that with each petal until I've made my way around once. So now currently the back of your work should look like this. You have chains of 10 stitches between each petal. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into this first chain 10 stitch space. I'm going to make a single crochet. And then I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to single crochet again. Chain 3. Single crochet. Chain 3. Single crochet. Chain 3. Single crochet and chain 3 one more time. And then a single crochet. So now what you should have are 5 loops. So then we're going to turn our work so that it's looking at you like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch again. So it looks just like that. And then I'm going to chain 3. And then I'm going to single crochet in that next 3 chain space. And I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet in the next 3 chain space. Kind of like what you would do with a pineapple stitch. And then chain 3 again and single crochet in that next space, 3 chain space. And then chain 3 and single crochet in the next 3 chain space. So now I should have 4 loops on the bottom part of that leaf. So now I'm going to turn my work again. I'm going to slip stitch and slip stitch again, and then chain 3 and single crochet, chain 3, and then single crochet again in the next 3 chain space. and then chain 3 and single crochet in that next 3 chain space. So you should have something that looks like this so far. Now I'm going to turn my work again. I'm going to slip stitch once and then slip stitch again. And then I'm going to chain 3, single crochet in the next chain 3 space. And I'm going to chain 3 again. And again, single crochet in that next chain 3 space. And one more time, I'm going to turn my work. And I'm going to slip stitch once, and then slip stitch again, and then chain 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch in the next chain 3 space. And then I'm going to finish off my work right there for that leaf so far. So your leaf should look something like this. So I'm going to now go to the next chain, 10 space. And I'm going to do it again. Same thing. I'm going to make a slip stitch that in there and single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to single crochet. Chain 3, single crochet. I'm going to show you this one more time, and then I'll let you finish the last 3 on your own, because you'll be following pretty much the same instructions for this part of the leaf. Chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet, and chain 3, single crochet. Turn your work, slip stitch, and slip stitch, and then chain 3, and single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. Turn your work, slip stitch, and slip stitch, then chain 3, and single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. And then turn your work. You're going to slip stitch and slip stitch, and then 3 single crochets, or sorry, excuse me, 3 chains, then a single crochet, 3 more chains, and then a single crochet, and then turn your work. Slip stitch and slip stitch, and then 3 chains and a single crochet, and then finish off your leaf right here for the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this part of the next 3 leaves, and I'll let you get to it, and I will meet you right back here. Now that you've completed the first part of your leaves, it should look something like this for you. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up where we had just finished off right here at that last leaf. And we're going to single crochet once on that side next to that last single crochet that you had just made, making your last loop. And then you're going to go ahead and in the next section next to that side there, you're going to single crochet 2 times. And then the next section, single crochet twice. And then in your next section, single crochet twice. And then you're going to come over here to your next leaf into that first open section there on the side of that first 3 chain loop. And you're going to single crochet once and single crochet twice. And then in the next section, 2 more single crochets. And then the next section, 2 single crochets. And then in the next section, 2 single crochets. Now here in this last 3 chain loop at the tip of your leaf, you are going to want to single crochet 7 single crochets in that space. And then in the next section, single crochet twice. And then of course in the next section, another 2 single crochets. And in the next section, 2 more single crochets. And in that last section, 2 more single crochets. And then you're going to jump over to the next leaf. And in this first section down here, this first 3 chain loop section, you're going to single crochet. And then again, in that same section, and so on and so forth, just like you did with the leaf before it, you're going to continue. Just make sure that you put 7 single crochets in the tip of your leaf. And then here on the sides, you're going to put 2 single crochets together. And then of course here at where the 2 leaves meet, you're going to end your single crochet here and then pick up your next single crochet there so that you can tie everything nicely together. And then I will see you right back here in just a few minutes after you get that completed. So as we swing around the tip of the leaf that we started, or in this case, it's the last leg of this dark green that we're using, I just crocheted my 7 single crochets into that tip. And then where I did the first single crochet in this loop where we started, I'm going to go in and I'm going to single crochet 1 more single crochet. So that space has 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to fasten off my work. So this is what we are looking at. So you can see it starting to take some shape, taking on that star shape behind. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch on to our next green color. And here I've chosen a lighter green. And you can really kind of start anywhere you want to on this one. This is going to be fine, because what you're going to do with this green is you're just simply going to single crochet in each single crochet along the edge of these leaves. And you're going to just do the one round. And we'll meet you right back here once that is finished. So once you finish your single crochet all the way around the edge of the leaf in your second green color, fasten it off, and then weave the ends into the back of your piece. So now we're going to move on to our next color, our last color. And in my case, it's going to be the natural tone of this thread. You may have chosen a different color to do yours with, and that's perfectly okay. It's all about personal preference and your color palette taste. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually begin this next color and stitch on the outer edge, or actually the back loop of my first large petal. If you did your count correctly, you should be able to count up 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that should leave you with 5 stitches right here in the middle. And that'll help you find the center, the very center 5 stitches of your petal. And that's where you want to be in, and you want to keep those 5 stitches in mind. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the first 2 stitches, and at least for now. I'll finish them up at the end. And then I'll slip my hook into that 3rd stitch. And slip stitch into that 3rd stitch. And I'm going to make my single crochet. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and 3 single crochets right there in that back loop. So we'll be working in only the back loop, or the back loop only for this next round. And then I'm going to crochet 5 chain. And then I'm going to come here, and where we put these 7 stitches, so we should have 7 single crochets, we're going to skip the first of the 7 single crochets, and then we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in terms of your 7 crochets, and that'll leave you with 1 more single crochet before you start, before you start moving along down the line here. So that's kind of how you're going to want to pay attention to your stitches. So again, one more time, I'll show you. So you're going to chain 5. And then you're going to want to get the middle part of the middle 5 stitches of your leaf. So you should be able to locate that by counting 8 stitches up on either side and then getting your 5 on the top. Okay, so this is the stitch I'm going to begin in, and I'm going to single crochet. Remember, back loops only. Then I'm going to chain 5. And I'm going to come here, and where my 7 crochets are at here on the tip, I'm going to skip the first one. And I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then the 4 stitches after that, giving me a total of 5 single crochets on the tip of that leaf. And then I'm going to single chain 5. And then I'm going to locate my 5 stitches that I need to single crochet in on the top of my leaf, just as we did before. And I'll let you take care of that, and I will see you back here in just a moment. So now that we've made our first round of stitches with our last color, your motif should look something like this. And you should slip stitch in the first single crochet that you started with, and then chain 2. And then your next round is going to consist of half double crochets. And so there's only going to be one little variation on the tip of each of the leaves. So I want you to stick with me until I can show you what that looks like on this first leaf. But otherwise, the rest of your stitches are all, you know, just going to be a half double crochet in each stitch of the previous row. So you're going to have 5 half double crochets across this 5 chain space. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to do a half double crochet in the first single crochet, another one in the second single crochet. Now in that third single crochet, right at the tip of this leaf, you're going to put 3 half double crochets into that one stitch. And then you're going to do a half double crochet in the next single crochet, and then a half double crochet in the next single crochet. So in that third stitch, there at the very tip of each leaf, you're going to put 3 half double crochets in there. And then in this 5 chain space, you're going to put 5 half double crochets. And then of course a half double crochet for each of your single crochets, your 5 single crochets going across the top of your petal. And that's all you need to do, going all the way around. So 5, 5, 5, 2, 3, 2, and then 5, 5, 5. Okay. And then I will finish this up and show you what to do next. Now that you have your edges finished, your piece should look like this. And so really the last thing that needs to be done is to block it. Now with your motifs, for those of you who are new to making this sort of motif, it's actually really important for you to block your work. And what I mean by blocking your work is, in this particular case, for this motif and for this style, I am going to wet this, but I'm going to wet this with water that's hotter than warm, but not so hot I can't submerge my hands into it. So I'm going to get this wet, and then I'm going to just press out any excess water. And then I'm going to pin it to a blocking board, just like this. So this is what it looks like before I pin it. And this is what it's going to look like when I do pin it. And then, of course, this is a piece that's already been blocked. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see about throwing that in there. So this is what it'll look like when it's finished and it's dried. So if you've stayed with me this long and have completed this video, you are pretty amazing. This is a time-intensive motif. It's certainly a little more complicated than the standard crochet pieces you're going to find on YouTube, but it is so worth it. The extra time and the quality of the piece that you turn out is just, it's just worth the extra effort that you put into it. So I want to thank you for joining me today. It's always such a pleasure to have you with me when I'm sharing one of these tutorials. And until we see each other again, stay